where we can add new courses, we can delete courses. How about when instead of adding these hard-coded courses where the title is always new course, how about we have like an input field, right, where we can use that input field as the title of the course. So let's do that. Something like, for instance, we might have in the HTML side, you might have maybe an input field here, right? And as I type and I click on create course, I would use the title that I typed in here. Yes. So what we're going to do, what we'd like to be able to do is perhaps bind this input field to some state variable that I can then use to pass it to the create course, and then the create course can use that title as an argument, as a parameter, to then create the course using that title. Yes? So let's follow that strategy. What we're going to do here is that we're going to use here declare here a state variable that's going to keep track of the new course title, right? And maybe we initialize it as an empty string. Okay, and to what we want to do is bind this input field, right, to that state variable, right? So to do that, we're going to use another attribute that allows you to do this, right? And that attribute is called right here the ng model. So the ng model attribute allows you to bind whatever the value of the input field to a state variable that you're keeping track in the component, right? So for instance, we're going to bind this input field with the new course title. Okay, oops. New course title. There it is. All right, so it's bound. App modules is a file that was created for you when we first created the project, and it's a configuration file, right, where you can declare all sorts of things and import libraries and make them available globally throughout the application. And what I see is that form modules is already there, right? That's why it was not giving me probably my IDE did it for me automatically. It included the forms module. Yeah, see, yeah, it added it. See that normally all the other ones have a space before and after. This one was added by my IDE. Okay, that's what happened. Okay, so form modules is installed. That means that ng model works, right? It is binding the value of this input field with this title. I can now use this variable and render it anywhere I want. Just like title, I can render anywhere I want. I can take this course title and anywhere I can put it. Just to show you, there it is, new course title. Just to demonstrate that this the value of this input field is now going to be tied to that state variable, and that state variable I can now then render it anywhere I want. So as I type, notice that it is rendering down below. Okay, so anywhere I hook it up to, right, it is being notified that that data is changing, right? Again, anywhere I put it, right? So if I add it in the title up here, new course title, right? As I type, notice that the HTML is changing. So it is notifying every single instance, right, of the state variable wherever it's being used, so that it renders dynamically. Anyway, so I have that state variable. I've made my point. Once I have that state variable, I can then use it as an argument, as a parameter to the create course, right? I can pass it along. So that my create course, I can receive the title here of the new course. Yes? And then I can use that as a attribute value for creating my new course. Yes? All right, so if I come back and I type here, CS 4550, create course, notice that is not working. What? CS 4550? Oh, there it is. It doesn't like 50. There it is. Excellent. So CS 4550, 5200. There it is. So now the title is being passed. Now notice that I really didn't have to pass it along as an attribute, as a parameter, because I already have the state variable right here. I could have used that, right? Because as I am changing it from the user interface, it is changing here. So I could have used that in here, but it's a better practice right, to not have functions be dependent on side effects, right? Instead, it's better to explicitly pass along any dependencies that your algorithm needs, right? So it's better so that we are explicitly passing the data that you need, right, to run your algorithm. Another thing here, notice that it's highlighting this title over here. It's only because because the name of the property and the name of the variable are the same, right? There's a shorthand for this, right? This is still ES6. And ES6, if the variable and the attribute property name are the same, you can abbreviate it by just using the single name of the property, right? Which is the same thing, right? So if we go back, this should still work the same. Okay? All right. Excellent. Yes.